unless there's a timing problem. Hi, dot Quist. That's a good question. So my Quist just is part of my actual last name, and then dot is just like my what I use for my online alias. The idea, so Quist in like Swedish means branch, so it's on the end of a lot of last names because it's like that branch of the family. So I like the idea of like I like it being on the end because it's like the point is to branch out, the point is to expand, the point is to make connections, which is what I'm trying to do, especially online. Like I think that's like the value of being online. Hey, thank you for the follow. And then yeah, I just like Dot. Dot is also a name that I um Dot is a name I acquired for myself when I began my non-binary journey. Because it feels pretty neutral. It doesn't feel masculine or feminine, and I really like that about it because I like that about me. I don't really feel I'm fully either gender. So yeah, thank you for another follow. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Do I run into problems here? I think because of this liberty that I have up here, and I think because of White's shortage of liberties, that I don't have to worry about H5. And in fact, can I go ahead and just... doesn't do anything. Okay, so I want to see what he does against this move because I've been eyeing it for a little bit. After I connect here, I don't think he's alive. He answered that really fast. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna read that again in a second. Okay, so what can happen here is... Am I still under threat? Like even with the can he survive? I'm not sure. Okay, the quiz part, extrapolating that to that connections is... That two connections is provocative. Okay, yes. The tip of plants is what grows, but what connection is it seeking other than to the sun? Not any really, but the sun is a serious connection that I appreciate. That's cool. I really appreciate that you said that. Um, because I haven't thought about that. And you're right. It's hmm. Yeah, the branches are reaching out to the sun for the light. It's more so the roots that are cool. No, this is really cool. And then the roots are the thing that reaches towards the ground. What about to other plants? What would you say it is about the plant that most is reaching out to other plants? Because I do know that there is communication that happens between trees. Um, I read a book on it once. It's called like The Secret Life of Trees, and it was really fascinating. It seemed like they used, I don't want to say pheromones, I think that's wrong, but like chemicals to be able to communicate with each other. Um, yeah. Anyways, I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that, but what you said is really interesting to me, like to contemplate as a person. Um, yeah. So I appreciate that. Okay. So finally, I want a game on stream. Let me turn some light on first of all. Um, I don't know if that helps. That helps a little bit. That's not really a major part of plant nature, the plant to plant. Interesting. Excuse me. Um, so is there not hmm what is it that makes plants then be like in community? Well, okay, I guess that's obvious. Like you have a lot of plants that end up growing together, obviously, and like very close together a lot of times, but I suppose that's because the seeds have been uh, scattered from like a parent plant, right? So it's going to keep it local. So there still is closeness when they're close together, when their means of propagation are basically wind and gravity. Huh. Okay. And just because they're close, just because there's proximity, doesn't necessarily mean that they are actively interacting with each other, like, or communicating with each other, or like matter to each other that much. But they are all, yeah, interesting. Okay, I hadn't. That's very interesting. Okay, this plant. Oh, sweet. Let's. Awesome. My. This is good. This is brain candy. Beyond that, it's astral, spiritual conjecture. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So again, yeah. There's a lot for me to to consider with that. So plants are actually pretty independent, even if they're close to each other, and that makes sense. I think that makes sense, like about me. But yeah, so MX, I'd love to hear you connect this to unforeseeable plans, because I don't think I was quite putting that together during the game. Um, you said it looks like I'm focusing too much on the plans I can achieve when choosing a direction. Any good plan is one you can't foresee. So does that mean like by trying to foresee a plan, or no, no, no. I'm being too obvious about my plans? Maybe is what you're saying. I'm not completely sure. I will look through your variations while. Okay. It turns out that black can win this capturing race. Oh, really? Because of the corner. Really? Wait. Yeah? Huh? Okay, that's cool. More so than people. Wait. So if you look at a plant or a tree and you ask if that tree is good or bad, it should be obvious that there's like no way we can actually have an ethical or utilitarian discussion about that tree. I was kind of trying to keep things in order. 25K Messiah says more so than people, and yet people are the same. but we complicate it with the perceived value of community, love, friendship, etc. Plants sort of strip it down to biology, at least as far as we can know, which is probably not very much right. So, so much of human behavior is really sex driven, which is just the biology of plants. It's a crazy question because just look at the tree, it's fine. It's life. What precisely are we trying to judge? Wow. So we can flip the entire idea around. I'm excited to see this turn into Go. We just decide that the tree is pretty. Yes, we do. Yeah, we don't make moral judgments about the tree. It does. It feels good. You see green and it feels like nature. At least when I think about a plant, especially in the wild, I always feel like it has a right to be there, which I suppose is silly too, because like there are plants that exist because more unnatural routes, and there's like invasive species and stuff. um so like well, and that's a concept that we have too, like whether something has a right to be there. But it's very easy to, yeah, just kind of call things pretty and not make moral judgments on them. Huh. Yeah, you're interacting a lot with leaves. So the way this ties with the finding the good plans Go idea. A good Go plan is going to be as large and complex as that tree, not simpler than it, not understandable. Why? If you need a reason, the only reason is that Go is an amazing game. A good Go plan, I'm going to just read this again. A good Go plan is going to be as large and complex as that tree, not simpler than it, not understandable. A connection between the nature of plants and how to choose a Go move. Because everything ultimately seems to have some correct organic analogy or metaphor. I agree with that. We're getting closer to understanding the good big plans, thanks to AI maybe, but we're still infinitely far away, like Go is. I see. Okay. So, a lot of times I will have a plan and I see it. Like I can see it so clearly, right? Like I'm playing and I'm like, if I do this, this will happen and that will be good because this and this and this. And what happens inevitably is that later I'm shown why that was wrong or why it wasn't as simple as I thought. Which is a good example of like if the plan right, sorry, if the plan was foreseeable, like I had it, I knew it was going to happen, then I'm wrong about how Go works. Until I'm really good, until I'm really, really good. And then, even then, what I think I understand, or if I think I understand it, I'm probably not grasping the whole picture. To put it into the metaphor, to put my cue plans into the metaphor, most of your plans, when you're trying to force it or understand it, that's just a piece of wood or a burning tree or just tripping on a branch. This is so good. Um, wow. Yeah, because how could it be the whole tree? Not that. You can stumble on a good branch. You can stumble on a good leaf. You can find a good leaf. But it's like, it's not the whole tree. And so what we should be looking for in Go, um, what we should be, the way we should be playing is like in search of the full tree. Um, and not let ourselves be fully, not let ourselves get carried away in the beauty or idea of a branch or a leaf. So when we're doing that, we're missing the tree, and we're going to be mistaken. And sometimes we might sometimes we might get lucky, and that branch might lead us somewhere good, but it also very well might not, because you weren't looking at the whole tree. Right. Absolutely correct. Yeah, 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 yeah. And throw it straight in the trash bin. Yeah. Yeah, I began a song or a work of art with, I don't know, a basic piece of effort or inspiration, knowing, or like not knowing where it's going to go, but not really needing to, like more so trusting the process. There is a feeling that you develop um, as a songwriter or a visual artist of like intuitively, of like whether you're following, whether you're at least on the path, whether you know where it's going or not. Um, there is the funny like difference that in art you can um no one else is going to come in and interrupt it. You could, I mean, maybe get super super deep and say like you could get interrupted by yourself, like you will have conflicting ideas about what the piece could do, but overall, like it's you, you're not timed either. You can make the move when you need to, but no one else is trying to sabotage your art. But in Go, yeah, there is still this idea that like discovering the tree, but someone else is going to but that discovery is like an ongoing conversation. How do you navigate a conversation where every time a word is spoken, the entire context changes? That intuition is noticing something good, but in both cases, you're never fully seeing the whole everything. You're seeing a good tree. Yeah, you see the tree at the end, and you're happy. There's a sense of pride when you get to the tree, but but also a sense of awe and humility at the same time, because you didn't really know, which I think is the same as Go too. Like it's, you can have an idea of how the game is going to play out, but um really until it's over, you could still be surprised. You can still be wrong. You can still be proven wrong. Really in one move, like almost any move. um, cool. I like this. I mean, I would sit here and riff on this forever. I do want to play more. But I really really like this, and I appreciate you guys kind of tag teaming this concept. And now I'm not gonna really see my name the same. It's almost, you guys have kind of helped me with my branding a little bit. You've helped me find like the heart of my branding, and I